Did you know that your gut is home to over 100 trillion bacteria? And they control far more than just your digestion. In fact, these bacteria within your gut play a huge role in your immune system function, your skin health, your brain health, and even your mood. And this is where probiotics come in. In this video, I'm going to share with you the health benefits of probiotics that your doctor never tells you about. And by the end of this video, I will prove to you why probiotics are one of the most powerful supplements that you can take for your overall health and well-being. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Zyrowski. And as always, it's a pleasure keeping you on the razor's edge of natural health. And when we look at what you have to do to stay healthy in today's environment, improving upon the health of your microbiome is one of the key things that you can do to have a ripple effect across your entire health and well-being. One of the first benefits of taking probiotics is going to be improved digestion and also less bloating. Because when you start taking probiotics, you're going to find that it starts balancing out the gut health in the microbiome within. This is going to mean fewer digestive issues, less gas, because most gas buildup comes from bacterial issues within the gut, which equals less bloating and also less constipation and diarrhea. You're also going to find it's going to restore harmony within the microbiome, and it's going to start crowding out harmful bacterial species and supporting your gut health with more important and keystone species that are necessary for you to actually thrive. Now, another thing that you're going to find by taking probiotics is that it will play a huge role in boosting your immune system. And this is everything. I'll explain why. Now, when you take probiotics, you boost your immune system. And the reason for this is because 70% of your immune system actually lives right there in your gut. And the probiotics are going to strengthen the defenses within the immune system, helping you fight off colds, viruses, infections, and so many other health problems. Now, when you look at your immune system, it plays a huge role in fighting off cancer, fighting off pathogens, and also just keeping you healthy in general. And as we can see over the past 5 years, what we know now about our health is that the way that our immune system is functioning is incredibly important. And this can be the determining factor as to whether or not you get, let's say, a cold, a flu, or a virus, and you have a devastating impact from it, or you just brush it off and keep going with your life. Okay, it's all about your immune system function, and probiotics are very important for that. Now, let me explain a concept to you and help you understand why probiotics are more important in today's environment than ever before. They're more important than ever before because of the widespread use of antibiotics. In fact, I say all the time that when I was a child, I was probably put on antibiotics 1 to 2 times a year for ear infections and other various reasons, cold, flu, and all of that. And unfortunately, it wiped out my microbiome, probably just like this happened to you as well. It's very common that many of us have been put on rounds and rounds of antibiotics without ever restoring the proper bacteria within our microbiome, which is absolutely essential. I can tell you, as a child being put on antibiotics, my parents never heard this information. You being put on antibiotics have probably never been told this information. So therefore, when you wipe out all the good bacteria with antibiotics, along with the bad, one of the problems is that you start to damage your immune system. So you need probiotics, and you need the proper ones in order to actually start rehabilitating your gut health. And this is very important. And another key factor as to why probiotics are so important today is because we don't eat like we used to. In fact, we are not going out behind the house and grabbing food out of our garden every day when we eat. We're not drinking from streams that have pure water in them. When we look at our ancestors, this is simply a huge way that they actually introduce probiotic species into the gut. And because we don't live like that, and there's benefits to that because we're not, constantly getting bacterial infections that we can't overcome because of E. coli on our food or, in our water and many other problems, right? So there's certainly benefits to having good, clean water and clean food. However, the downfall is that we're just not getting the probiotics that our systems need to thrive. I'll put in the description a link to different forms of probiotics, whether you're trying to focus on neurological health or immune system health or hormone health. I'll put some resources in the description below to probiotics that are specific to each one of those particular areas. And I'll get more in depth in that in just a moment, okay? Now, another huge benefit to taking probiotics is going to be better nutrient absorption. Even though you're eating healthy, one of the problems you have is that if your digestion isn't in a good place and your gut health is not in a good place, you're not going to absorb nutrients properly. And probiotics are going to play a huge role in nutrient uptakes, whether it comes to B vitamins, magnesium, or even iron. You need proper probiotics for proper digestive processes and be able to actually utilize these different nutrients that you're putting in your body through food or other forms of supplementation. Now, probiotics are going to play a huge role in your mental health and your mood support. I've never met somebody who has a brain problem who also does not have a digestive issue and a gut health issue all at the same time. So if you have brain fog, mood issues, anxiety, depression, any of these issues, if you have those different brain issues, understand that there's something called the gut-brain axis where your brain and your gut are connected. And if your gut health is in a bad place, typically it's one of the driving factors causing the brain issues, okay? So though this might surprise you, but through this gut-brain connection, research shows that probiotics can help lower anxiety, they can help improve your mood, and they can even reduce symptoms of depression and even more complex psychiatric conditions. So probiotics are very important for brain health because of the gut-brain axis. Now, you're also going to find that probiotics can play a huge role in weight and metabolic support. Certain probiotic strains help regulate appetite, improve insulin sensitivity, and they even can reduce fat storage. There are studies out there where they took obese mice, and the way that they got them to lose weight was just simply by introducing certain strains of probiotics, which is really incredible. So therefore, if you want a healthier metabolism and you want to focus on weight management, good quality probiotics are important. And then also skincare, okay? Your skin is a reflection of your gut health. If you have poor skin, you are going to have gut issues, guaranteed. Rashes, eczema, issues showing up all over your skin. Think about your gut health. Clear skin is going to start in the gut beyond a shadow of a doubt, and probiotics are going to reduce systemic inflammation, which is why if you're suffering from acne, eczema, or other skin issues, you first go back and focus on the gut. Now, let me explain a concept to you real quick. When I talk about weight management and metabolic health versus brain health versus nutrient absorption versus immune system or hormone health and how that pertains to probiotics, understand that there has been research done in each of those areas to show that certain strains of probiotic help in those particular areas. So when we look at probiotics from a clinical perspective, what we actually do is we will use hormone-based probiotics or metabolic-based probiotics or neurologically based probiotics. So therefore, it's all different. And like I said, I will list resources to this in the description below because this is probably the first time that you're ever hearing this. And it's important to understand if you're trying to target a certain area, you're using the proper probiotic strains in order to accomplish that. Now, beyond that, you can find that probiotics will help with heart health and also have an anti-inflammatory effect on the body. Now, something that nobody ever tells you about probiotics is very important, okay? So don't leave this out of the understanding of how to utilize probiotics properly, is that you want to use prebiotics as well. Prebiotics are usually in the form of fibers or resistant starches that your body can't digest, but your good bacteria can. So pairing prebiotics and probiotics together is a good way not only to make sure that the probiotics survive, but also that they stick around. And one of the things that I find so common is that when many of you take probiotics, you often forget to take the prebiotic with it, okay? I use the analogy of we all like to go to the gym and lift weights so that we can become stronger or go running so that we can lose weight. However, a lot of us don't like to take the time to stretch, right? But stretching is critical so that we can actually get better results over here. Think of prebiotics being very much the same. It's critical so that you can get the benefit of the probiotic. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. First of all, lots of vegetables and fruits are very good. They serve very well as a healthy prebiotic, but then you can also go and get a prebiotic that will pair with the type of probiotic you're using. It's important to understand that many of these prebiotic-probiotic combinations on the market don't have near enough prebiotics in them to actually support the probiotic effectively. What I mean by that is that you can see these capsules that exist that will typically have a probiotic and a prebiotic in it. That dusting of prebiotic is pretty much useless, okay? You have to make sure that you're getting the proper amount that research has proven is necessary in order to get these probiotics to stick in your gut. So therefore, what we do clinically is we will take a probiotic and we'll pair that with a prebiotic, and it will be like a scoop of greens powder, essentially, specific to the probiotic, so that you can actually make sure that those particular bacteria that you're taking will stick around in your gut. And so I'll put those combos in the description below. And I know this is a lot of information, a lot of resources, but I will tell you that at the end of this video, you will be properly set up to take probiotics effectively, target the areas of your body that you're truly trying to get results, and also have a meaningful outcome by utilizing these types of systems. And there's another point I want to make, is that sometimes it's not just about adding more probiotics in. Sometimes we have to go through a clearing out phase where we actually get rid of the mold, the fungi, the parasites, the bacteria that shouldn't be living in our gut. We have to clear that stuff out so that we can make room for the healthy, good bacteria. And so what is recommended to do is go through a cleansing process in some cases before you ever go through the process of taking probiotics, so that once again, when you take the probiotics, they actually matter. So I'll also put a link to a parasite cleanse that you can utilize in order to accomplish this as well. So as I said, I know this is a lot of information. The key thing that I want to instill in you is that probiotics are incredibly important and beneficial for your health. I also want you to understand that when you're trying to target certain aspects of your health, you're going to use very particular probiotic strains to accomplish that, not just the random probiotic off the shelf. The other thing that is important to understand is that you have to take the proper amount of prebiotic in order to get that probiotic to stay around. You don't want that probiotic just to be taken, passed through your system, and then gone. You want it to hang around and you want it to live there, because that's ultimately how you rebuild your gut after taking antibiotics. And that's ultimately how you go through the process of restoring your health. And this is why probiotics are one of the most valuable things you can utilize in order to improve your health and do it naturally. I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski, and if you enjoyed this video, then check out this video over here next.